Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. Today I'll be going through all my 3D Blu-rays. I have over 400 movies and a handful of shorts and documentaries and video games. So I figured the best way to do it, I'll do the main movies first, and then Marvel and DC, and then auto conversions, and then all the miscellaneous and stuff like that, and then end off with video games. So let's get started. 47 running with R.I.P.D. and Immortals. 300, Rise of an Empire. Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. Acorns. The Adventures of Sharkboy and Lava Girl, Spy Kids 3D. I was very lucky to get that one pretty cheap. I see that one can go for a lot online. The Adventures of Tintin. Aladdin. And then for this set, I have it here for Alice in Wonderland, but also has The Nightmare Before Christmas and Frankenweenie. They all got their own cases. And I also have Alice Through the Looking Glass. And there's Alita Battle Angel. Amphibious. The Angry Birds movie. Animals United. Assassin's Creed. Asterix and the Mansion of the Gods. I think there's two other ones, but I think this is the only one in English. Avatar and Avatar, The Way of Water. Don't have the special edition of this, just the regular, but didn't see too much of a need to get it. Back to the Sea. The Bad Guys. Bait. Ballerina. Banshee Chapter. Battle of the Year. Beauty and the Beast, both the original animated and the live action remake. The BFG, that was a really good one. And I have Bigfoot Jr. and Bigfoot Family. Blade Runner 2049. Blood of Oma. Bolt. Bolt and Blip. Enjoyed that one. Boogie. That was a lot of fun. The Book of Life. The Boss Baby and Boss Baby Family Business. This one is here for box trolls, but also has Paranorman and Coraline with the slip too, which is really nice. Alright, and then we have Brave. Camp Blood double feature. Cars. Cars 2 and Cars 3. I believe these are all from France. I got a nice deal on the whole set because the first one was hard to find, so I was glad to get this. And then Cats and Dogs 2, The Revenge of Kitty Galore. Chicken Little. A Christmas Carol. And then there's Clash of the Titans and Wrath of the Titans. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 1 and 2. A lot of these Spanish covers because you can get them really cheap online. Coco. actually cheaper to get this one from Germany than the UK when I checked, so figured, hey, why not? Conan the Barbarian. The Croods and The Croods: The New Age. Another one I had to get from Germany because it was cheaper. Alright, and then there's The Darkest Hour. Another Grindhouse double feature. This is Deadly Culture and V-World Matrix. There's Despicable Me 1, 2, and 3. Got that one from Amazon Japan. It was pretty cheap. Let's see. Dial M for Murder. That's another one I really liked. The Dino King, An Amazing Adventure. Doolittle, actually have both, the Random Space Media and the Turbine release. I support Turbine, so I bought it again. Dolphin Tale. Dracula. Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. This one doesn't have any English on it though. Let's see. Dragon Nest, Warriors Dawn. The Dragon Rider. Dread. Drive Angry. Gotta love Nicolas Cage. Dumbo. Dune. Fortunately, the second one did not get a 3D release. Electric Man from AI Pop. Now iPop. Epic. Escape from Planet Earth. Everest. Really like that one too. Another Grindhouse double feature, Evil Unleashed and Zombie Chronicles. Exodus, Gods and Kings. And then another Grindhouse double feature, Eyes of the Werewolf and Hunting Season. Just need the other one, and I'll have all 5 of them. And there's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. Yeah, great 3D, but not the best movies. The third one never got a disc in 3D. Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. So got that one from Japan because it was pretty cheap. And then there's Final Destination 4, also The Final Destination, and Final Destination 5. Got all of those movies. Let's see. Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. The Forbidden Girl. Freddy Frogface. I think that company made 3 movies. They all have 3Ds. Freebirds, of course. I had to import this one, but it's a very interesting case. Friday the 13th, Part 3. I haven't seen the Shout Factory release, but they corrected it for this one, so that's great. Fright Night. Frozen and Frozen 2, both great 3D. And then you get a short on this one, Get a Horse. I highly recommend getting this and watching that short. It's really good in 3D. G.I. Joe, Retaliation. Gamer. Garfield's Pet Force. I think this one was only available in Spain. Pretty good 3D. Gemini Man, only available in Germany, Amazon, but they had it pretty cheap a few months ago. And Geostorm. And there's Ghostbusters. Okay, Ghostbusters Answer the Call, the reboot with the women. A lot of great frame breaks in that one. No Malone. Romeo and Juliet. And then I have Goat Story and Goat Story with Cheese. So this one is actually an auto conversion, but I didn't want to split them up. This one, however, is actually native 3D and has a bonus movie included on there. And of course, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong. And there's The Good Dinosaur. Thought that had some of the best 3D from Pixar. Goosebumps. Gravity. A little overrated in my opinion. The Great Gatsby. I've always liked that one. The Great Wall. Really good 3D in this one. The Green Hornet. The Grinch. Gulliver's Travels. Fun movie, but pretty weak 3D. Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters. Happy Family 2. I think this one pretty cheap. The first one is really hard to find, so I don't have that one yet. Happy Feet 2, since the first one wasn't in 3D. This next one's pretty nice. Harlock Space Pirate. You get the theatrical cut in 3D, and then there's an extended cut only on the DVD, though. Let's see, the Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Parts 1 and 2, double pack. Some people like the first one more in 3D, but I think it's all in the second one. First one, in my opinion, had almost no 3D. But part 2 had enough good 3D to be worth watching. In the Heart of the Sea. Hercules. So I have A Legend of Hercules. Hidden. And then the Hobbit trilogy. I luckily got them all with the lenticulars. These are unfortunately only the theatrical cuts. I'll have to go out and get the extended editions at some other point. Hoodwink 2. I think this one was a conversion for some reason. I don't know why they convert animated movies when they're so easy to render in 3D. Horrid Henry the Movie. Hotel Transylvania 1, 2, and 3, Summer Vacation. And then the fourth one didn't get a 3D release, unfortunately, but I like that one. Then another trilogy, How to Train Your Dragon 1, 2, and The Hidden World. Pretty good 3D in all three of those. Hugo, another really good one. The Hunger Games Mockingjay Parts 1 and 2. The only way to get Part 1 is to get a double pack like this, or one that comes with all 4 movies. Not the best 3D in the first one, but I like the second one a bit more in 3D. And there's The Huntsman, Winter's War. Hybrid. I, Frankenstein. Hi, Robot. Pretty weak. And then Ice Age, I have Continental Drift and Collision Course. I don't have Dawn of the Dinosaurs yet, but this one on the inside here actually came with a short Woolly Mammoth Christmas in 3D. So that was nice. I didn't have to buy that separately. Right, Immortals, another one. So I had in that 3-pack earlier. Incredibles 2. And Independence Day Resurgence. Let's see. Inside Out. Really like the second one. I wish they still did 3D disc. So I definitely would have bought that one. Insurgent, the Steelbook. So I'm gonna get that at Best Buy before they stop selling movies. Ivan the Incredible. It's a fun story. Jack the Giant Slayer. John Carter. And there's Journey to the Center of the Earth. And Journey to a Mysterious Island. Great 3D in both of these, but specifically the first one. Pretty fun too. See, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Unfortunately, missed out on Jumanji the Next Level, and it's gonna be hard to get one nowadays. Very expensive. Let's see. Jumper. Fun movie, but pretty weak 3D. The live-action Jungle Book. Jungle Safari, I'm confused with Jungle Shuffle. There's a whole bunch of these animal movies. Sometimes they all just blend together. Let's see. Jupiter Ascending. A little underrated in my opinion. Jurassic Park, and then I also have the Jurassic World trilogy, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and Dominion. So now this is just the Blu-ray, but on the inside I do have the 3D disc. Got to replace that though at some point with the actual 3D release. Yeah. It's really weird how the 3D goes downhill from the start. It just gets so much worse as the movies go along. Should be the opposite, but I don't know. And then Justin and the Knights of Valor. And in the case, I have this one Japanese one I got. Kaibetsu Kun. There's no English on this one, unfortunately, but it was cheap. I got it $15 on Amazon Japan. Give me some bonus stuff. So that'll be a fun little thing to buy. Kumba. Kiss Me Kate. Not a big fan of the movie itself, but the 3D was really good in this one. Kong, Skull Island. And then Kung Fu Panda, 1, 2, and 3. 3 goes for a lot, but if you look around, you can get it cheap. I was able to get all 3 for $40 brand new on Amazon. So just keep an eye out. The Last Airbender. The Last Unicorn. This is a conversion. Actually found this on Amazon Germany for about $6. So that was a good deal. Laura Star and the Dream Monster. This one doesn't have any English either, but it's pretty fun. Leda. The Legends of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole. Great 3D. And then I have the Lego Movie, the Lego Movie 2, and the Lego Ninjago Movie. And I have the Lego Batman movie, but we'll get to that in the DC section. I think the Lego Movie 2 had the best 3D out of all of them. The rest of them were kind of weak. Let's see, Life of Pi, another really good one. The Lion King, both the original animated and the live action. The Lion of Judah, pretty weak 3D in this one. I don't know, I think they converted that one too. Little Hercules. The Little Mermaid. And the live action one didn't get a disc in 3D. The Little Prince. I enjoyed this one. The little animated sections with him have really strong 3D. The rest of it, though, was just okay. The Little Wizard. Not a very great movie. The Lorax. Always found that one to be underrated. Mad Max Fury Road. Madagascar 3. Wish we got the first two in 3D. I really like the whole trilogy. Maleficent. And then I've the second one on its way. The Man Who Wasn't There. Enjoyed that one. Very good 3D. Mars Needs Moms. Another very underrated one. I don't know why people dislike that one. 3D was pretty good. The Martian. Another really good one. And there's an extended cut, but non 3D. Maya the Bee movie. Meet the Robinsons. Another really good one. I think a lot of the older 3D movies for Disney were good. A lot of the newer ones are a little more weak in terms of 3D. The Meg. Of course, we don't have Meg 2 in 3D. Megamind. Another really good one. Metigol. It's foosball. No English on this one, unfortunately, but it was like $5. Migration. Really great 3D in this one, and you actually get the short Moon from the Despicable Me universe, so you gotta get that one. And then there's Minions, and Minions The Rise of Gru. Great 3D in this one, not so much in the second one. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Mission Impossible Fallout. The only one they made in 3D, but you get the IMAX scenes in this, which is really nice. I like how Turbine goes all out. Moana. And then, of course, no Moana 2 disc in 3D. Monster House. Monster Hunt. Monster Hunter. Doesn't really say that it's in 3D, but it is, and it's good. I really enjoy that movie. Monsters, Inc. and Monsters University. Two of the greatest movies ever made. Definitely worth watching in 3D, too. A Monster in Paris. That one was alright. Let's see. Monsters vs. Aliens. Another good one. And then you get the short on that one, Bob's Big Break in 3D. Mortal Engines. Also like this one. I don't know why so many people didn't like it. Let's see. The Mortician. This one was actually shot in 3D, and there's some really good shots of good depth in there. So I would recommend this one if you can get it cheap. Mr. Peabody and Sherman. The Mummy. Another one that I don't know why people hated it. I don't know. I just like a lot of movies. And there's good 3D in this one. That's probably why I liked it. My Bloody Valentine. Let's see. The Chronicles of Narnia. The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. It's the only one they made in 3D. The other two weren't. Need for Speed. Ordered this on Amazon. They sent me the 2D, so I had to return it and buy it on eBay because I didn't want to get the 2D version again, but here we go. And then there's Night of the Living Dead Reanimation. Noah. Another one I really liked, a lot of people hated, and there's really good 3D in this one too. Nurse. That one was alright. And then I have The Nut Job and Nut Job 2, Naughty by Nature. I think this one was only available in Germany. But again, Amazon Germany, they had this not long ago for like $6 or $8. This one has a nice lenticular. The Nutcracker. Onward. This is the last Disney one we got outside of Marvel and Avatar. I don't know why they had to stop. At least we got that one. Oops, Noah's Gone, also known as 2x2 or God's Little Creatures. Really like the movie, but there's very, very weak 3D. It's almost not even there for most of it. Open Season. And they only did the first one. I think there's 4 of them. Only the first one's in 3D for some reason. Otto the Rhino. This one actually has pretty good 3D. Outcast. I thought this was an auto conversion, but it put it in. No, it's actual 3D. Again, Nicolas Cage, so you have to get it. Let's see. Oz the Great and Powerful. The one I really liked. Let's see, and then I have Pacific Rim and Pacific Rim Uprising. If I can get it out. There you go. Got this one from Amazon Japan as well. It's pretty cheap. Both are good. Both have good 3D, but this one's a bit better. And you get the full frame, which is always great for 3D. Let's see. Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension. I heard it's only partly in 3D, so it's going to be disappointing to watch. The Pee-wee. This one was subtitles only. There's no English audio. Well, I got it at Dollar Tree, so I'll consider that. Penguins of Madagascar. Another one I got for $1. Can't say no, but always like that one. Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. Some good 3D, but mostly weak. I wish the first one was in 3D. That was a far better movie than this one. Wow. Piranha and Piranha 3DD. Ended up importing both of these just because they were cheaper. They were alright. A little underwhelming, especially being shot in 3D. I think would be a bit better. The Pirates, Band of Misfits. And then the last 2, Pirates of the Caribbean. These were both in 3D on Stranger Tides. And Dead Men Tell No Tales or Salazar's Revenge. You had to import this one. 3D was really good in the last one, not so much in the prior. Let's see. Pixels. This was actually the first 3D Blu-ray I watched. So I've always liked this one. Another movie people hate on, but I like it. Good 3D. Let's see, and then Planet of the Apes had 2 3D movies. Dawn and War. Actually, I haven't seen this one yet in 3D. This one was okay. I think they shot it in 3D. Could have done so much more. I really wish Rise of the Planet of the Apes was in 3D. That's the best one to me. Or if they would go back and do the original, but... Point Break. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Pretty fun. I think I like to get with this one is you get a little Pokemon card inside. It's a pretty fun little bonus. I like this in there. The Polar Express. Of course. Nice lenticular, very strong depth on that cover. Poltergeist. Another one I really liked. I thought the 3D was really good in this. Some people are undermining that one. Pompeii. Pretty good 3D. Poirot's Racing Adventure. Priest, not the best. Prometheus, haven't seen this one yet. Protector 2, know nothing about this or the first one. And then Puss in Boots. Really hope Turbine gives us Puss in Boots The Last Wish, but we'll have to see what happens there. That one was good in 3D though. And Quackers. Pretty good 3D, fun movie. And of course, Ratatouille, which is region B locked for some reason. I don't know why, all the other ones are region free, but if you have a region B player, this is a good movie. Alright, and next up we have Ready Player One. Resident Evil Afterlife. Resident Evil Retribution. Resident Evil, the final chapter. And then they made an animated Resident Evil in 3D as well. Pretty fun. I actually like those movies. A lot of people seem to not like them, but they're fun. This one was okay. Some good pop-outs in it. Ribbit. Rio. And Rio 2. I enjoyed those, and they had pretty good 3D. Rise of the Guardians. Robinson Crusoe. Very good 3D. This is made by the guys who did A Turtle's Tale. They always go all out with their 3D. Ronald the Barbarian. Very interesting cover choice. And San Andreas. It's another pretty good one. Pretty strong 3D. Sarilla. Don't know anything about this one. Saving Santa. Saw 7 or Saw the Final Chapter. Scream 6. The Second Coming. This one's no English audio, but there's subtitles. Secret Life of Pets 1 and 2. Haven't seen them in 3D yet, but I saw them in 2D before. Let's see. Secret of the Wings. Pretty fun. I wish they would do more of their Tinkerbell ones in 3D. I think 1 or 2 of them did, but never got a disc. Sector 7. The Seventh Dwarf. Seventh Son. I don't think that one got a US release, but found the Spanish one pretty cheap. Shark Knight. Very underrated. Actually, I really like this one. 3D was pretty good in some parts. A lot of the water scenes was where it shined. Shrek, the complete collection. This is the first 4 movies. So Shrek, Shrek 2, Shrek the Third, and Shrek Forever After. Hopefully, we'll get Shrek 5 eventually from Turbine. Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. I like that one. Wish they did both in 3D, but Sing and Sing 2. This one's a nice lenticular. Pretty good 3D in both of these. And they're fun movies. Skyforce, a really odd one. Pretty flat. There's a couple shots that look good. There's a shot where there's a book being thrown at a person. There's some good depth there, but other than that, not too much. Skyscraper. Really helps the building just feel really tall when you can actually see the depth in 3D. So definitely gonna watch the 3D in that one. Smallfoot. Then from the Smurfs, there's the Smurfs. Smurfs 2. And the Smurfs, The Lost Village. And this is a box set of the Snow Queen trilogy, 1, 2, and 3. I know the fourth one also has a 3D release, so I gotta get that. Haven't seen these yet, so I really don't know what to expect. This is one of my favorites. SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. Pretty good depth in this. I feel like not enough people give this movie credit. Spy Kids, All the Time in the World. So I had Spy Kids 3 with the Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Yeah, I like this one. I know some releases of this came with the scent card, so you can smell it too, and it's 40. I think it'd be fun to get one of those. Stardog and Turbo Cat. Pretty fun. And then for Star Trek Into Darkness, and Star Trek Beyond. And the first one was never in 3D. Alright, and this is Star Wars. I don't have Rogue One yet, but I do have Solo, Force Awakens, and then the last two. Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. Definitely need to check these out at some point. 3D. Just waiting till I get Rogue One. Static. That one shocked me how much I liked it. And there's Step Up and Step Up Revolution. Still need Step Up All In. It's the fifth one. Storks. Pretty big 3D, but it's actually a really fun movie. So, we're at least watching 2D. Another trilogy. Street Dance 2, and Street Dance Kids. None of these movies have anything to do with each other, so you can watch them in whatever order you want. And then I know this one says it's like 93 minutes. Well, there's other ones that say it's longer, but this one was the full like hour and 40-minute one. So don't feel like you're getting a shorter one when you get the France release. I think that's what this one was. They were all okay. Ted, The Lost Explorer. I know the second one was also in 3D, but I think that one's a bit harder to find. Tangled. Always liked that movie. Tarzan. Also have Legend of Tarzan. Both kind of good. Decent 3D. And then there's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. And the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Haven't seen these yet, but not in 3D. Saw that one in 3D when it came out, but I don't know. Maybe I'll like it more this time. Terminator Genesis. I still need Terminator 2. Texas Chainsaw. Thor and the Legend of the Magical Hammer. I like the white case on this one. Very interesting movie. Having Mjolnir talk and everything. The Three Musketeers. Thunder and the House of Magic. Another really good 3D. Lots of depth and good number of pop-outs on that. Titanic. Saw this theatrically when they redid it a couple of years ago. Really liked it, but I haven't seen the disc yet. Top Gun. Very underwhelming. Some people say they really like the 3D and I don't get it. It's just very shallow to me. Tormented. Toy Story. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fourth is definitely the best in 3D. Actually, made some good depth there, but the first three are pretty weak 3D, but they're good movies. Fortunately, with this set though, you only get the 3D disc, so you don't get any bonus features like you would if you got the other 3Ds. And then for Transformers, there's a lot of these. Bumblebee, and Transformers Rise of the Beast, Transformers Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction, and The Last Night. Wasn't a big fan of any of these. I thought Rise of the Beast was okay. Bumblebee was the best in my opinion in terms of the movie and the 3D. And I did really like Transformers 1. Hopefully we'll get a 3D disc of that this year. Alright, and then Trolls World Tour. Still waiting on the first and third one in 3D. I don't know why they skipped the first and then came back and did this. It was a little strange, but whatever. Tron Legacy. The third one's about to come out. Hopefully that'll be in 3D as well. And then, of course, some of the best. Turtle's Tale and Turtles 2, Sammy's Great Escape. Must buys for any 3D fan. Almost skipped. Turbo. Surprisingly good 3D. Very strong. There's Underworld Awakening and Underworld Blood Wars. Up. I think this is the first Pixar movie to be released in 3D. Upside Down. Absolutely love this movie, but 3D was very weak. So just get the 2D if you can't find the 3D cheap. Valerian, the City of a Thousand Planets. The Walk. You hear a lot of people say good stuff about this, and it's for a good reason. Very good one. Great 3D. Walking with Dinosaurs. Warcraft, or Warcraft, The Beginning. Then The Wizard of Oz. Really hope we get Wicked this year from Turbine. I enjoyed that one in 3D. Wolf Totem. World War Z, another one I thought was underrated. I actually enjoyed the story in this one, and 3D was decent. Then there's Wreck-It Ralph, and only available in Japan, Ralph Breaks the Internet. Some fun movies. Alright, and then Triple X, Return of Xander Cage. I haven't seen any of these yet, so I'll check them out at some point. Yogi Bear. Alright, it's shot in 3D. There's some good pop-outs, but not a lot of depth. The Young and Prodigious T.S. Spivet. Really shocked me how much I like this. And there's some really good pop-outs and decent depth in that one. Yu-Gi-Oh! Bonds Beyond Time. I've heard this is really good. I didn't care for the movie itself, but the 3D in it was pretty strong. Quite enjoyable. Alright, and the Z's. Zambezia. And then Zootopia. I know the second one's about to come out. And I realized I skipped one earlier. Echo Planet. Probably a reason to skip this. One of the worst movies I've ever seen. Don't waste your money on it, but couldn't say no to that one. Alright, now we're going to start going through all the Marvel and DC stuff. Starting with the MCU in release order. We have Thor, because Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man 2 never got 3D releases, unfortunately. Wish they would do those at some point, but at this point, definitely not. Captain America, First Avenger. Not the best 3D in those, but I think with the Avengers, it really picks up. This one's full frame too, all the way throughout, which is really enjoyable. In phase 2, we have Iron Man 3. Thor: The Dark World. Let's hope the 3D starts to step up a little bit more. But definitely more with the next one. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Pretty good 3D. Enjoyable. Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the first one where you get the shifting aspect ratio. I think that's a real selling point in these MCU movies in 3D. It's really enjoyable. And Avengers: Age of Ultron. Another one I liked. And then Ant-Man. This one is full frame all the way throughout as well. Pretty good. Doctor Strange. This one got a clear case and a nice lenticular insert. Not often we get all that fancy stuff. But good 3D. A little overrated in my opinion. A lot of people say this is one of their favorite Marvel 3Ds, but there's plenty of better ones. Captain America Civil War. Good one. And then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. In the US, you could only get that 3D if you got the Steelbook. And then Homecoming, which was the last US release. So everything after this in the MCU you have to import, which is underwhelming. Most of them are pretty cheap. Thor Ragnarok. Absolutely amazing 3D. Definitely need to check that one out. Black Panther. Avengers: Infinity War. Also great. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Captain Marvel. Also great 3D. Avengers Endgame. Can't say no to those. And then I have this nice steelbook for Spider-Man Far From Home. Obviously you get the 3D, but you also get a bonus disc, which is nice. Also really great 3D in this one. And then starting with phase 4, you had to get them in Japan, and they are kind of expensive, but I think they're worth it in the end, especially if you're a big MCU fan like me. So you get Black Widow, which this one also got the IMAX enhanced version. That's one of the last ones. Starting with Shang-Chi, they pretty much stopped, but they still have 3D disc, which is really nice. Shang-Chi. Eternals, not the best movie, but there's some really good 3D here, so I would check it out if you're willing to spend the money on it. And now they're really hard to find. Spider-Man No Way Home. So if you ever find this cheap, definitely go ahead and grab it. So there haven't been very many copies for sale, especially for a reasonable price. And that one is Region B locked too, for some reason. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Another underrated one. Same thing with Thor: Love and Thunder. Liked it, but pretty weak 3D. Probably one of the weakest MCU ones in 3D. But they picked it up shortly after that with phase 5. I'm missing Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So far, that's the only one I'm missing. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. And then this next one, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We did get the shifting aspect ratio, and there's some good frame breaks in here too. That's a good one to check out. The Marvels. I feel like if they release this one in 3D, then they're gonna probably release most of them. And then the newest one, and one of my favorites, Deadpool and Wolverine. Great 3D in the opening scene for sure. I would definitely recommend checking this out. I got that on HMV Japan. So I wouldn't go on eBay and spending a lot of money if you can find them on websites. Now for the rest of the Marvel movies, there's Big Hero 6. A lot of people don't know this is Marvel. It's a fun one. Not the best 3D though. Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. Men in Black 3. Another one a lot of people realize is Marvel in a way. And this is another 2-pack. So 2 movies. The Amazing Spider-Man, the nice lenticular. And The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I feel like the 3D is a lot better than the second one. First one was alright, but there were a lot of flat scenes in it. Alright, and then Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. A little overrated. I actually prefer Across, but no 3D for that one. Venom. The only Sony Spider-Man universe one they got a 3D Blu-ray. The Wolverine. You get both the 3D and the extended in this set. Alright, and then our last two for Marvel. That is X-Men Days of Future Past and X-Men Apocalypse. I like both of those quite a bit. And, of course, the collection's complete without DC. So we have, got this out of order, Man of Steel. This is the DCEU. And Batman vs. Superman. Really great 3D in this one. A lot of people like Aquaman the best in DC, but I like this one best in terms of 3D. Very strong. And there's Wonder Woman. Suicide Squad. Justice League. Not the best 3D. Really could have done better. Aquaman. You know, they gave us the IMAX Enhanced on the 2D disc, but not the 3D for some reason. I hate when they do that. Shazam. And then the last one we got from DC was Wonder Woman 1984. And then we have just a couple more from DC. We have Green Lantern. I think that was the first one they released in the Lego Batman movie. And then from Plan D, we have Max Fleischer's Superman, Volumes 1 and 2. And then there's a Volume 3, which I need to get. Alright, next up are some of my auto conversions. 6 guns. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend getting any of these. They're not really worth the money. I know what they were until after I bought so many of them. So I stay away from auto conversions as much as I can. Coriolanus. Might as well just watch them in 2D. Dragon Chronicles. Final Countdown. Fire Dragon Chronicles, Dragon Quest. I mean, they gave this one a lenticular just for it to be an auto conversion. Disappointing. The Fire Dragon Chronicles. And the, I don't even know. I think it's supposed to be like Chronicles of Narnia or something. The Ghostmaker. Lord of the Elves. Only God Forgives. Pusher. Starship Rising. There Be Dragons. The War Worlds. The Sci-Fi box, which has Immortals, Battle Force, and the Ark. Daybreakers. Feed the Fish. High Attack. Talk to the Dead. Toys in the Attic. Z for Zechariah. And Predestination. So these aren't all bad movies. They're just get the Blu-ray. You don't need to get these 3Ds. And then for some miscellaneous, I have Found Footage 3D. This is an Anaglyph Blu-ray movie. I have 2 Pulfric tapes, Yo Yogi and Power Rangers. And this one even came with the glasses. So, kind of cool. I like Pulfric, but nothing too special. And I have this 3D Horror Classics Volume 2. You get Dementia 13, Little Shop of Horrors, and Night of the Living Dead. Comes with this little 3D glasses setup. Just you need an older TV, which I don't have, so it's not any easy way to watch this. You can use some computer programs that let you watch them. Tried it out. It was alright, but I gotta pay for the full access. Alright, And then there's documentaries and shorts next. The Little Rascals. Katy Perry, Pardon Me. Metallica, Through the Never, with a lenticular insert. Michael Jackson's This Is It. Circuit du Soleil, Journey of Man. Best of 3D. And the Disney Digital 3D. Those are trailers. The main thing is the stuff up top. And Working for Peanuts. Those are the main reasons to get that. So everything else is just trailers and clips, which you can just get from the movies themselves. Nitro Circus. This one's fun. Genesis Paradise Lost. Some really good digital scenes in 3D, but most of it is just 2D. Ultimate Way of Tahiti. IMAX Under the Sea. Ocean Wonderland. IMAX Hubble. Dinosaurs Alive. IMAX Deep Sea. And the Casperel Theater Puppet Show. It was kind of fun. I got it really cheap. I think it was like 30 minutes long. Alright, some more here. We have an Elf Story. Free D1. This is from Plan D. Some shorts and trailers on it. 3D the Movie from Variety Films. Pretty fun. The world's first 4K 3D Ultra HD Blu-ray. This one has a little short and some stills on it. This is an anaglyph DVD, Santa versus the Snowman. And another anaglyph, Shrek 3D. This is actually Shrek 4D, or The Ghost of Lord Farquaad, not the actual Shrek movie. So beware. Circuit du Soleil, Worlds Away. Doctor Who, Dark Water, Death in Heaven. The Universe in 3D. Winged Planet. Ghost of the Abyss. Moses and Ramses. I think this is an auto conversion too, but I didn't want to put it with the others since it's not an actual movie. This is anaglyph only, and Montana and Miley Cyrus, The Best of Both Worlds. Prototype. .3D Science News. Fantabulous Adventures. Amazing Ocean. Wisp, Act 1. And then the last one I have is IMAX Fighter Pilot Operation Red Flag. I think this was only in Germany, so it's nice to be able to find one of those. And then last but not least is the video games. So I have, oh, before I get to that, Family Guy Blue Harvest, the special edition DVD does have a anaglyph 3D scene on it, so that's pretty cool. And then the Xbox games, there's only a few 3D games that weren't on PS3 but were on Xbox. Here's all 4 that were released physically. Star Wars Kinect, Gears of War 3, Halo, Combat Evolved Anniversary, and then Attack of the Movies. This one's anaglyph only, but you get a nice lenticular insert, and you do get some nice themed glasses based on the game. And then the rest of them are all PS3. So there's Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed Revelations. Avatar the game. I don't think this has a frame packed mode, but it does have side by side. Pretty fun. Call of Duty Black Ops. Crisis 2. The Blob 2. I thought this one was fun. Good 3D in that one. Doom 3, iPet. That was kind of fun too. The Fight Lights Out. Gran Turismo 5. Green Lantern, Rise of the Manhunters. This one was actually related to the movie, so try to get 2 for 1 there to get the 3D movie and then the 3D game. High Velocity Bowling, pretty fun. Killzone 3. Medieval Moves, Deadman's Quest. MLB 11, the show, and then 12 and 13. They're on 3D. Alright, and then there's NBA 2K11 and 12. And this one actually played all the way through. I thought it was a lot of fun and very strong 3D. If you turn it all the way up, lots of depth. Sonic Generations. And Star Trek, which is also connected to the movies, which are in 3D, so the more the merrier. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Tron Evolution. Uncharted 3. And then 2 Batman ones. Batman Arkham Asylum Game of the Year and Arkham City. So this one isn't free packed. It's only on Cliff, but it also came with its own glasses. Alright, well, thank you all for watching. Obviously I have way too much 3D, but hope you enjoyed.